I'm a little bit late, a few technical issues. Really excited to be giving this talk today. The talk is why is this happening to me again? Just to introduce myself first, my name's Matthew Jones Donachie. I run a bespoke action therapy clinic from Surrey in England. I use mindset techniques as well as emotional clearing to help clients gain an awareness around the three component parts of self, looking at mind, body, spirit, or the way I like to look at them is different levels of consciousness. So you have the conscious mind, the subconscious mind, and the superconscious mind. Now, I liken the conscious mind to mindset and working with limiting beliefs, but also I work within the subconscious mind. For that, I use subconscious connected breathwork, which helps people dig into the emotional side of self. So what I've found over the years and what I've found has really helped my clients succeed is using both sort of modalities. So people that come to me that have done a lot of work within mindset say, you know, I've been working on limiting beliefs and working on how my mind works, what I'm telling myself, and just there seems to be an incongruency there, and that's generally because if you've worked within the mind, you're used to working on the conscious on that level. The emotional and the emotional blocks can be within the subconscious. So if you've done a lot of mind work, but it's not congruent with how you feel, you may find that the results that you're looking for when manifesting, when working in business or working with personal relationships, you just don't seem to get the results that you're looking for. And also on the flip side of that, I get people coming in that have done a lot of the emotional clearing and the emotional deep work, but again find an incongruency with how they feel and what they think. Now, if you get these two working together, they're like best friends. Now, if they're not working together, the incongruency can become huge. And I found within my life, I've got to my mid 20s, late 20s, and found myself asking myself the questions like, why is this happening to me again? Why am I going through life experiencing the same experiences, the same toxic relationships? Nothing seemed to change. I did a lot of mind work, a lot of talk therapies, and I found that helped to a certain degree. Because it helped me become more positive and realise that some of the things that I was told when I was younger weren't necessarily true. They were just somebody's opinion on something. And we take these things on board, very much what our parents tell us. Money doesn't grow on trees. We take these statements that people have said to us on board, and they become programs, and we run on those programs. So it's really important to get in and deal with what your mind is telling you, but also how you feel about a certain situation, because we gain, or the mind will sort of rack up evidence as to where you haven't been successful as well as where you have been successful. But what we need to do is work on the mind so that you can clear the limiting beliefs and clear some of the statements that you were told that you're actually still running on. And obviously this still works, or this works within the emotional as well. So if you've been treated a certain way, if you've attracted certain people into your life and had not so great experiences, you find yourself looking back and going, well, why do I keep attracting these people? Because it's not a want. This is not something I'd like to clear. I would like to have a healthy relationship, whether that's a personal relationship or whether it's a business relationship. I find that people come to me on a personal level, but also a business level, where their business just isn't working, and they're getting the same blocks and the same experiences coming up. And often I find that they've done one component part. Let's remember there's three parts to self. There's mind, body, spirit. And you have to put your energy into all three to really become that superpower, that superhuman, and to create the things that you would like to manifest into your life. If you're going for something, if you're going for a dream life, you have to expect that you're going to have to step up and challenge yourself on this. If you want all your dreams to come true, you have to put in the effort. And so for people working with the emotional, we can suppress emotions from when we were young, and we see it in parenting. We tell little boys that they need to man up and don't cry, and little boys, don't cry, you're tough, you've got to be that manly man. And then we tell little girls not to get angry, and that they should be sweet and smile and not feel the anger. And actually what we're doing is we're telling our children not to feel their emotions. It's not safe to express your emotions in public. And even just that one thing can prevent people from feeling pure joy. You look at the average 3 to 5 year old, if you put them in a room where they've never been, they'll be picking stuff up, they'll be throwing stuff around, they'll be looking at things, they'll have a big smile on their face, they'll be running around like an absolute lunatic in complete joy. Their imagination is just full on. And children are told to sit down, be quiet, mummy and daddy haven't got time for you playing up right here, right now. So we're telling that child off for being joyful. And I was one of those children. And I dare say you were probably one of those children as well. And so when you're told over certain amounts of time by adults and people that you trust that the way to deal with the emotions is to suppress them and not show your weaknesses or anything like that. And we wonder why people have issues in later life. It's something I experienced in my 20s, was a lot of mental health issues. And it's because of the work that I've done that I've been able to work through them, and in a very constructive way, and now teach people how to do the same in their lives. I took my life from a life of why is this happening to me again, and if this is life, do I really want to continue this way, to I can't believe this is happening to me. I have the most amazing life and the most amazing job that I get to help people crack through things that have been holding them back, some since childhood. And there's nothing that gives me greater joy in doing that. So just to explain a little bit more about the three layers of consciousness, you have the conscious mind, which is 10% of the brain's capacity, and we use that in our daily lives. It's very good for problem solving, things like that. The larger part of the mind, 40%, is the subconscious. Now that's generally split into two categories. 20% is skills, so your conscious mind is 10%. You can't take in all the information and process that and have all your skills within the conscious mind. It's too much for the brain to handle at one time. So we store our skills in the subconscious. So when you're driving, you don't think about changing gear and the hundreds of thousands of little course adjustments you've got to do on the way. You just do it because you've trained yourself, and it's now suppressed into the subconscious. So the other 20% of your subconscious, and I like to see it as a big warehouse, is all the emotions and the suppressed emotions around any abuse, anything that hasn't particularly gone your way. And let's not forget, we suppress just as much joy as we do any of the others. So to put them in categories, mad, sad, scared. Most emotions would fit in mad, sad, glad or scared. So we suppress them into our subconscious because we can't have them in our conscious mind. We would all be going crazy. There'd be way too many thought forms. So we suppress it into our subconscious. Now, that's great, and we start off with a lot of room in the warehouse, but as you get older and older, and the more you suppress, the more you'll find that you have difficult situations coming up, and emotionally you can feel drained. Perhaps it's affecting your sleep. So for me, the most effective tool I've found so far for clearing emotions and emotional blocks is Breath for Life Breathwork. I trained with Acorn to Oak, a fantastic community of people, and that really opened it up to me when I realised that a lot of the emotional baggage that I was carrying was what's happening on the inside is happening on the outside. So the crazy life that was overwhelming, that was full of pain, and it was just because it was going inside, that's what I was seeing on the outside. So by doing the work within the emotional and clearing the emotional blocks, I realised that a lot of the patterns and ways that I was living my life were not mine. They were a sort of survival mode that I had created. I'd got used to the fact that my dreams weren't going to come true, and I wasn't going to create all the amazing things I dreamt of as a child. I'd accepted that, and that's when I really thought, actually, we're living on survival mode. We're telling ourselves stories, and our mind is telling ourselves stories and limiting ourselves, when actually we're limitless beings. We can connect with Source and have our own unique divinity, but it's only us that stops ourselves. So through the years of work I've done on the emotional side and within the mind, I've found that the two together are absolutely amazing, and I've helped people completely transform their personal lives, but also on a business level as well. So it's using both sides. The third part of the consciousness that I haven't mentioned is the superconscious, and the superconscious can be accessed within deep meditation, also breath work, and a lot of other tools that are out there. And that's 50% of our consciousness. That's 50% that we're not even tapping into. If you want to have effective manifestation, the superconscious is the place to do it, because that's the place where we hold our most of our power. And this is not something that most people talk about, and yet it's one of the biggest parts to self. It's remembering there's always those three. So it's the mind, the body, and the emotional. If you have all of those three working together, it's that triad of unstoppable energy. You will really feel like you're cooking on gas. Everything flows, everything works well. You attract more than enough clients. You're attracting more people to do sort of work with, whether it be a collaboration. And it can really turn you or make you feel like you're a superhuman. And it's something that I've used in my life for a long time now. Manifested things were way beyond my dreams, and now I'm helping others do that. So I'm sure many of you listening, you may have, whether it's in your personal life or whether it's in your business life, you may be asking yourself, why is it that I keep attracting the same experience? Whether you're doing the mindset and you're cracking your mental patterns, but you just don't feel it emotionally, or whether you've done the emotional work and you just haven't cracked into the mindset. Get in touch. Feel free to reach out. I'm aware we're getting quite short on time, so I'd like to do a Q&A session. So if you've got any questions, or you'd like any more clarity, or while we've got a few more minutes, you'd like a little bit further explanation on something, just leave us a little comment and I'll see what I can do. If not, until I see a question, I'll just keep talking. So really excited to be here and be part of the Global Mindset Summit. When I got the invite, it felt I was so excited. It really felt as though this is going to be a huge movement, not just now, but in the future. And what better time than now? I mean, we're all in lockdown. I'm sure a few people are finding that a little bit difficult. I'd be lying if I said it hadn't affected me. However, what I've used, especially breathwork over the last few weeks, is breath work. When I've found the moments where I feel slightly lonely or slightly disconnected from humanity, or whether I'm just feeling a little bit sad because, well, it's the not knowing what's going on at the moment. So yeah, it's just, sorry, I've got slightly distracted with that. So, but I've been using breath work to crack through those moments, because on the other side of the fear or the sadness is joy, and it feels like such an amazing time to be working in this industry, especially with Corona. It's really petered up people's behaviours, and where globally we really need to make a change. So let's have a look. I'll see if I can have a look at some questions. So yeah, breathwork. What is breathwork? The specific style of breathwork I use is Breath for Life. The founder, Penny Pierce from Acorn to Oak, brought this over from America. And the idea of subconscious connected breathwork, or Breath for Life, is to bypass the conscious mind, and it's a connected breath. I can't teach you the technique on here, but obviously if you're interested in trying it, get in touch. But it's to bypass the conscious mind and allow you to get into the subconscious and feel the emotions around, and it could be any given situation. It could be a difficult childhood, it could be an abusive relationship. There's lots of different things that can create emotional blocks inside you. It could just be constantly being told off for doing things wrong. So what it does is helps you really connect with that emotional side of self and reintegrate them. So the reason that we suppress emotion is because we don't know how to feel it safely, or we're not told how to deal with it safely. So when an emotion comes in, so let's just say, for example, I go to my local supermarket and they haven't got the joint of meat that I was really looking forward to. You're going to feel slightly disappointed about it, but it doesn't have to be this huge thing. And we'll suppress, rather than suppress the emotion. It's just saying, okay, right here, right now, I'm slightly disappointed because I've been looking forward to that joint of meat all week, and that was really what I was looking forward to, and just feeling it and letting it go, and just not allowing yourself to suppress it. One of the best ways we suppress emotion is if you think about driving a car. If you're driving a car down the motorway at 70 miles an hour and someone comes flying past you and cuts you up, first thing you do is you hold your breath, and then you may suggest out the window that their parents weren't married, or give them a hand signal, and we buy straight into the anger because that's what we're used to feeling. We don't even acknowledge the sadness and the fear that actually somebody else's action put us in danger. It made us feel scared. They could have taken me out, they could have taken themselves out, but we skip over the sad and the fear straight into the anger. So the holding the breath, you'll find that when a fearful situation comes up, you'll hold your breath, tense up, hold it in. And if you just allow yourself to take a breath in that moment, whether it's a fearful moment, whether it's a sad moment, and go, okay, right here, right now, I'm scared. Right here, right now, I'm sad, and I don't know what to do about it. And feel it. Just keep your breath moving and feel it. And you'll find that by keeping your breath moving and allowing that emotion to settle in, it will also release or integrate. So within a breathwork session, you can access all these emotions, like I'm saying, all these boxes of emotions you've got in your subconscious that will really help you to sort of change your own patterns. The more emotional stuff you deal with, the more you'll find that you can bring more joy and peace into your life. The more sadness that you deal with, the more joy you can feel. And one thing I sort of used breath work for a lot in my journey was anger, because anger is something that we're not allowed to, or is not seen as safe to express. But it's one of the biggest issues for men and women in this time. And I used breathwork specifically to deal with my anger because it was done in a safe environment where anything goes, anything can be said, and you're really just given permission to let it out. And I often said, I need to get rid of this anger, I need to let it out because it's just feels like it's consuming me. Whereas actually what I realised partway through my journey is I didn't want to get rid of the anger. I just needed to flip it to passion. It's the story of Gandhi. If Gandhi had got angry about what had happened to him, he would have made it personal and probably wouldn't have got very far. But he got passionate and he freed India. So it's about, for me, integrating that anger within inside you, and rather than getting angry about situations, you get passionate about them, and that's when you can really start driving yourself forwards and your business. So just gonna check a couple of questions. So so what do I feel is the best tool for a change of mindset? That's a great question. I think the best way to address this question would be to say there are lots of tools you can use. The most effective tool I've found so far is using NLP. So NLP can work within what are you telling yourself, what is yourself telling yourself as well. So when you come up with an idea or a statement, what is your response to yourself? And once within NLP, once you work out where people are sort of holding themselves back, what the limiting beliefs are, it's about changing those limiting beliefs. It's also about using a practice to do that. So using a 21-day process of NLP techniques will help you naturally tell yourself positive statements, which is really good. 21 days is 3 weeks. So especially with meditation, if you're trying anything new or you're trying anything out, you should always do it for 21 days. Because after that 21 days, that's when it will be suppressed into your subconscious. So that's what we want to be suppressing into the subconscious, is some of the positive mindset and the positive beliefs. So NLP is one of those that I found absolutely brilliant. Also on the side of that, if you're working within the mind and mindset, Ho'oponopono is a really good freedom technique to use alongside mindset. So it's really an effective tool I've used. It would be NLP. As I said, there's many good tools out there that would produce the same result. So yeah, so okay, so how do you get in contact with me? I obviously, as I said, I run a bespoke action therapy clinic in Surrey. You can, at the moment we're all on lockdown obviously, you could visit my website, which is www.innerbalancelife.co.uk. My email is innerbalancelife@gmail.com. If you require any further guidance, any interest in training, maybe you've heard me talk about breathwork, if you any interest in training, highly recommend looking into Acorn to Oak. There's some great training in spiritual awareness. If you need any help, anything that I've said has resonated within you, I obviously do one-to-one private coaching. That's for personal and corporate. I do one-to-one breathwork sessions online, and I also do NLP sessions online. So it's been absolutely wonderful to talk to you all. I really hope that I've connected with you and what I've said has resonated. If I've managed to inspire you, then that's fantastic. Please share, please get the word out there. And just wanted to, before I go, thank the Global Mindset Summit as well. I think it's come just at the right time, and I think it is really, really what people need right here, right now. With the struggle that's going on in the world, it's hard to find those people that are staying centered and connected and positive. And the more of that we have, the better it'll be on the other side of this. So I really, really appreciate you listening. I hope I haven't gone over on time. And if you need to connect, please get in touch. Stay safe, be good, and don't get caught. Thank you.